quick live here because this is just an update on my experience with the economy. I've had some really rude. I talked about this last time I came on. I talked about um, just my experience with the economy and all these rude comments. You don't know. You're just like I had no experience in life. I'll be 63 this next week, and I've been out on my own since I'm 15, so I got a little experience with life. I do have a business degree. I did take economics 1 and 2. I did take accounting. And I was also in the stock market pretty heavy in the 80s. So I have a little bit of experience when I'm talking about things. But this is just my experience. I just did shopping. I got some normal things I normally get at the Walmart. And water has actually come down in price. I get a flat of water. I get the gallons of water. They've actually come down in price. And the gallons came down pretty significantly. They're at $1.23 now, and they were at $1.37. That's pretty significant. Eggs, I buy the expensive eggs. They stayed the same. The avocado mayo, the Chosen, was at 10 something. I don't buy that all the time, but I always keep my eye on certain prices because I got this mayo because I'm traveling soon, and so I needed that because I'm not going to be making my own mayo, but I make my mayo at home most of the time. The Starbucks coffee, although they say coffee's supposed to be going up, Starbucks coffee, I bought decaf. That was 11 something, and now that's 9.12. Okay. So I'm looking at things staying the same or coming down in price. Just my shopping experience. That's all this is, my shopping experience. Okay. And now also I want you to take a look. Never use the stock market as, oh my God, the economy is bad or the economy is good. Or no, there's only a very small percentage of the population that's actually in the stock market. So that's not the greatest. It's an indicator of things happening, but when you see great, like what we saw was the great sell-off and everything else, that's emotional selling. The market can be very emotional. So don't actually use that as your major gauge. It's a gauge that something's happening, but what has happened? The market's back up to where it was. People calmed down. They looked at what's going on. They see investment coming into America. There's now something like $10 trillion worth of investment coming into America. Because companies say, okay, we'll just make the product here in America, which is what we want. We need to bring our supply chains of our major things back to America. Our supply chains never should have relied on China. China is not our ally. I don't know if that'll get this video disqualified, but that's a fact. And the shame of it is I did a paper on this economics class back in 1990. And everything I put in that paper has come to pass. Okay? So it's not like I don't have a little bit of insight on this. What if instead of propping up the economy of a hostile nation under the guise is we'll get them to understand democracy through economy, when all they did was switch their economy to a capital-based economy, kept their government the way it was, kept the people suppressed, and now have an advanced military that's actually further advanced than ours, which is why the current president is upping the ante on our spending, because we need to come back to where Russia and China are in terms of upgrading our military technology. So just economic wise, hang in there. Remember, it took Reagan 2 years to fix the Carter economy. Okay, we haven't even got our first bill passed through Congress yet. Okay, We have deregulation. We have oil leases that are coming online. Remember, that takes a while. Plus, we got it. We just went. They said, well, how come gas prices didn't immediately come down? Well, all this is taking place during the same time period that the refineries. Now, remember, we still have the same refineries we've had for the last 50, 60, 70 years. Okay? But what they do in the change of seasons, they change the gas formulas. And so that takes time to do that. Plus, it's in the springtime that they do maintenance. But you'll see the gas prices come down significantly. I saw 2 weeks ago, I was down in Lake Worth and on my way to Springtown. And I was seeing prices at $2.42, $2.36. So wherever you're at, it's going to be piecemeal for a while as the new production gets out there and oil leases come online, and because it takes a minute to get the oil rigs and everything out there and start getting production and getting the ones getting the oil fields that have been basically put on hold back into production. So it's not like, I mean, it takes manpower. It takes a lot of manpower, and it takes a lot of work to get those things online. But you'll see those things coming down. But like I said, update, 3 items came down in price. The other items stayed level. So I see that as a good sign for the economy. Now I'll be right back with something out of our Bible. I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you next time.